They serve people with cognitive disabilities. And our next speaker tonight is Dawn, and she's going to bring up her son. Yes, if you guys can work your way up. Dawn has her son, and Ironwood Springs has been serving, it's not new, since 2013, people with developmental disabilities. And in the last few years, specifically based or formed a family-based program for people with cognitive disabilities. And in the winter, they do fun activities in tubing, and in the main lodge, there's a lot of different activities for the families to do, and it's an entire weekend, and it's a lot of fun. Dawn has been out there with her son, Jacob, and ConnectAbilities was something that I was able to come out to this year, and it really is incredible, and they always need volunteers. So please help me welcome Dawn and Jacob.
Good evening. I'm going to give you a little history about Jacob, so you can see why we call him our little miracle. Jacob was born July 29, 1999. When he was born, he was having breathing problems, and it took the flight nurse 5 attempts to get him intubated. He was life-flighted to St. Mary's Hospital. Little did we know that this was the start of Jacob's journey. On the way there, Jacob had stopped breathing, and the nurse revived him. He was in the neonatal intensive care unit for 2 weeks, or given his 10-foot arms. Little did we know that this was Jacob's journey. On the way there, Jacob stopped breathing and his nurse revived him. He was in the neonatal intensive care unit for 2 weeks before we could take him home. Jacob was doing well until Labor Day weekend. He stopped eating. We went to see his pediatrician, and he decided to put a nasal gastric tube in, so if he doesn't take his bottle, we could feed him that way. By Labor Day, he still wasn't eating. They sent us to St. Mary's Hospital again with a letter stating Jacob was failure to thrive. And they also blamed us that we weren't feeding him. We were the type of parents that would set an alarm clock every 3 hours to get up and feed Jacob. When we got to the emergency room, the doctor explained to us that they were going to do some tests starting to rule out possible issues. The first one was a CAT scan. Well, that didn't rule out any issues. That confirmed that Jacob had a rare brain disorder called Danny-Walker malformation. He didn't develop the midline of the cerebellum of the brain. The piece that didn't develop is your coordination piece of your brain. After that diagnosis, Jacob was a hot topic. St. Mary's had not seen Danny-Walker in over 10 years. Jacob's journey started getting more complicated. Okay. So Jacob's journey started getting more complicated. What else was going to happen to him? Within the first 5 years, he had a G2 place for enteral feedings, pedimol seizures, hip dysplasia surgery, multiple seizures, and hospitalizations. Ages 5 years to the present, he had a spinal fusion surgery due to severe scoliosis, diagnosed with cerebral palsy, learning disability, nonverbal, generalized tonic-clonic seizures, and severe mental retardation. We were also told that he'd only live between 1 and 5 years old. Guess what? He's going to be 24 years old this summer. Once you get to know Jacob, you'll see his cute, flirtatious personality that you'd ever want for a nonverbal young man. His facial expressions shows it all. With Jacob's health, we have endured a few challenges. The biggest challenges were not knowing the unknown. What will happen next? How are we going to keep going with our jobs? raising our other son, Brian. Other challenges that we face is all the red tape that we have to go through to help children and adults like Jacob for insurance and Medicaid. Traveling long distances because you won't, or so you worry about him being in his wheelchair too long. You have to find a place to change his briefs. Make sure you take his feeding supplies and medication along, just in case something happens. We also don't want to travel too far because we don't want to be too far away from his doctors. We plan on staying anywhere, yet basically bring everything but the kitchen sink. We also have a safety bed so he doesn't fall out if we stay overnight. Going shopping takes twice as long, but I choose to take him with me because he needs to get out. And I love my Jacob. When shopping, I have to look for handicapped accessible parking with a side ramp usage. I push Jacob in his wheelchair and pull a cart behind me, so I look like a train. When my hands are full, Jacob will decide to knock something off the shelves, pull clothes down, and possibly push over a mannequin. And he does that to make sure I'm on top of my game. He's a lot smarter than what the psychologists put him at. They say he's mentally 9 months old. But I know better. He likes blondes too. He gets into mischief all the time, and he knows he's doing it. You ask him if he's being a little stinker, and he nods his head yes with a grin. As Jacob got older, I wanted to find something fun for Jacob to do. We were at a home basketball game, and a friend of ours told us about the camp that she goes to and how amazing the place is. We have never gone to any camps, so I talked it over with my husband and told him, I think we're going to try it. I was excited and anxious about going. It was a first for us to go to camp. I wanted to document the trip, so I take pictures. I took a picture of Jacob and I leaving in our van. We listened to music all the way to camp because Jacob loves loud music, just like I do. As we exited off the interstate to turn towards camp, I looked at Jacob and said, we are almost there. He gets excited and does his Jacob belly laugh. We made it to the entrance, and I took another picture. The drive from the entrance to Miracle Lodge was so serene. Looking around to see everything that they had to offer, we pulled up in the van. Everyone was helping us get ready or get checked in. The staff made sure we knew we were going to where we were going and gave us our itinerary for the time we were there. Guess what? Camp was amazing. The experience Jacob had at camp was phenomenal. He felt important, and like everyone he met, he was in his element. He is the king. Jacob's favorite thing to do at camp is zip lining. When he was ready, or getting ready in the adaptable seat, he seemed fine. When he started being raised up to the top to go down to the zip line, his eyes got huge. The look I got from him was like, what are you doing to me, mother? He reached the top, and the group counted down. 3, 2, 1. They released him. My heart was beating with excitement and happy tears, seeing him do something fun, something on his own. The people at the bottom of the zip line said he was laughing and giggling. I was so proud of him. I asked Jacob if he liked ziplining, and his facial expressions told it all. He smiled and nodded yes. Another first Jacob had was an opportunity to drive an action track chair. An action track chair is a wheelchair on steroids. That's the easiest way to put it. I wasn't sure if he'd be able to use a joystick for driving or steering, but I showed him how to use one. Guess what? He did it. He loved driving backwards and in circles. He was laughing and giggling. If you could see his happiness, it would melt your heart. The camp kept the track chair out the whole time we were there, so Jacob could ride it. Bob Bardwell commented, "Look at that smile. He looked so free." Another amazing thing that happened is my employer and quite a few of my coworkers saw my videos on Facebook. And guess what? They surprised him with his very own action track chair. He did countless firsts at camp, and so did I. The best part for me was seeing how much fun Jacob was having. Doing something on his own and being part of an awesome camp family. Camp not only had a huge impact on me, but a bigger impact on Jacob. We had such an amazing experience. You don't have to worry about something not being handicap accessible because it's all accessible. All the events they have is for everyone. You can go swimming, hiking, kickball, crafts, paint the horses, which we put Viking stuff on, adaptable archery, music, prayer time, and much, much more. One of the better parts of camp is meeting and sharing the experiences with others. They become your family. We all have similar struggles in life, and don't take life for granted. You help each other out and give encouragement. We cheer each other on, and to hear a child being cheered on is one of the best feelings to a mother's ear. "Let's go, Jacob!" Chokes me up every time. Through the help of donors and volunteers, Ironwood provided this camp at a lower cost to allow us to have a lifetime of experiences. But some were not able to afford camp at all due to financial challenges of caring for someone with special needs. But if they're given the opportunity to go, they will never forget it. Jacob remembers his special friends he's made and the zip line. If you ask him if he wants to go zip lining, he's all smiles and shakes his head yes. This last year, he was our zip lining machine. He went 3 times. We created a young man that loves going fast and being daring. Not a lot of people can say they've been zip lining before. Just remember, when you travel with a special needs child, you always have to worry about accessibility. Going to the ConnectAbilities camp is a godsend. The families, the people, the staff that you meet are awe-inspiring. They treated Jacob with kindness, love, and respect. It's a peaceful and enjoyable place to go. That's why we go back year after year. I hope other families will be able to enjoy a weekend or even a day at camp to experience the enjoyment that Jacob and I do. It's an experience of a lifetime. See, miracles do happen. Thank you.
Stand up here and to the side while she spoke about their experience. And I said, "But Dawn, I don't want to be a distraction." And I said, "So what do you mean?" She goes, "Well, he liked blonde hair." And I'm like, "Good God, Jacob, it's a hairpiece. Don't go